Hi everyone. I fucked up here. I rather, lost all the audio for this record. Well, not the entire recording session, about 2/3 of it. See, what happened was, the night we recorded this, for some reason, the export and the audio was going very, very, very slow. And eventually I just said, I'll do it later. So I canceled the export, and then forgot to do it later. And in the meanwhile, Kurt did a fresh install on his hard drive to install Windows 10, wiped all of our recording data, which is fine because I thought I had backed up everything, but apparently I hadn't backed up the Audacity file for this particular recording session. So when I went in to edit this episode, I found out that, I only have 1/3 of the audio for an hour and a half of recording. Unfortunately, I can't just leave this part out because it's very important, and we're so far past this. I mean, we beat the game that we can't go back and just replay it like we can with Crash Bandicoot. So I sped it up by 200%, something like that, and I'm just going to talk over it for the next, how long is this? It's something like 19-20 minutes, I think. Not too long. So what happened is, Rudy, or Manzig rather, cut his arm off, and now we are going on a journey to go save him. The brother of the girl that we've been talking to is some kind of smith, alchemist, magic, metal worker, I don't know. He can fix Manzig's arm, but we need to find for him a couple of books. Pardon me. We need to find for him a couple of books. I think there's one on knowledge and one on spirit, something like that. I don't know. Two MacGuffins, basically. One of them, I think, is in this forest, and then one of them you'll see later is in that library from the very beginning of the game, where Cecilia's opening chapter takes place. Right now, we're going through this forest. I think this is a bit of a maze, but if I remember correctly, we got through it fairly quickly by a sheer accident. And I think we just ended up going straight to where we're supposed to go. I'll go through, get in some fights with these, I think they're called bugbears earlier. God, they really reuse a lot of models in this. It's almost as bad as Final Fantasy X. Actually, it might be worse than Final Fantasy X. I don't know. No, Final Fantasy X is worse. They only have about a dozen or so monster types, which just get remixed and get different elements added onto them. Snatcher. I don't know what to say right now. I'm sure we were talking a lot, but unfortunately I was completely lost and I utterly forgot. What really sucks about it is I had moved into my new apartment in the time between this recording and the prior recording. In fact, about a month had passed between recordings, and Thanksgiving came and went, and yada yada yada. So this recording session was the inaugural session in my new apartment, where we've been recording ever since. And it's the one that I botched the most. So that's kind of embarrassing. What I'm most afraid of, so I think there was another recording session where the audio was taking a long time to export, and I just said, I'll do it later. But I don't think I did it later. That might not be the case. It might be that there isn't another one where I have to do this. I only have 4 more recording sessions in the library for this. We ended up doing 21 total. This was 16, and I edited together 17, so 18, 19, 20, 21. Yeah, 4 more after this. So we're almost done. Why did we go back to Vasim's lab? I should probably cut more of this, but I'm not going to, because then I'd have to cut this audio, and I'm not doing that. Talk to the safe sloth. So I feel like it might be part 18, where I said, I'll do this later, and then did not do it later. Oh no, we found something apparently. Yep, I can't believe he's looking at a forbidden home cross. A home cross being some kind of living weapon, which was used during the War of the Demons 1,000 years prior, that the people had made, and they're very afraid of. Because they're kind of cowards. I mean, Rudy has done nothing to no one ever, And yet everyone just shits on him all the time. Poor Rudy. Poor Manzig. He's just this good guy, and now this guy is having a crisis of faith about restoring his arm to him. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't think we had to go to that forest at the beginning at all. I think all we had to do was talk to the Seam here, and we did not. So, we are good at video games. And now he's talking about the Guardian Blade, that thing that keeps popping up. Which, Jack was looking for, and he thought he found for a bit, but he didn't, and apparently caused that huge stretch of desert across Fogea. It's, basically, he needs to make the equivalent of the Guardian Blade again, just in order to repair Rudy's arm. And that's what those two books are going to allow him to do. Here we go. Yeah, he needs the Life Force Guardian, and to regulate the power, he needs the Illusion Guardian. So we're going to find those two. God, did we really waste like 10 or 15 minutes just wandering around that forest? It seems we did. That's embarrassing. But then again, we have wasted a lot of time, so it is par for the course. I mean, I think this playthrough is going to top out at around 55 episodes. So geez. Oh geez. That's a lot of episodes. And some of the time is completely wasted. Later on, we do a kind of a wrapping up of things where we go to some of the... We do some of the side content available in the game. We get all the way into the secret dungeon, and on the very first try, it's tricky. Well, it's not tricky, it's just RNG as to whether or not it'll actually take you up there. Our very first try, we get in there, and then Kurt accidentally steps on the warp pad that takes you back down, and it automatically takes you back down. And so we end up just not doing it, because we tried again and again and again and again, and it wouldn't take us. And we did some of the other side content. But the first time we tried doing the side content, we kept getting wrecked. Because it's tough. The side content is tough. And then we ended up doing it again later. And we did get into the secret dungeon. But up in the secret dungeon, we, yeah, it didn't go well. We got lost. It's some of the worst puzzles in this game. This game has a lot of very frustrating, time-wasting puzzles. I think right now we are looking for Kieran Abbey. Because I hadn't been there in so long, and I was like, well, where is it? Yeah, yep, even though you can just warp to it, which we just realized. Yeah, there we go. Aw, we got into a battle literally mid-step into Kieran Abbey. A foot through the door, and then this little pill bug grabs our ankle and yanks us out. And for some reason we walked all around? I don't know. Then it took us a little bit to remember where to go once we were here. I go here, and then I think you use the teardrop. Yeah. No? Nope. That's what I thought we had to do. And yeah, okay, right there. Whoop. Go down here. On up. Broke all those for no real reason. Apparently we didn't trust the switch. Something I wish this game had done, and that I wish all RPGs did, was once you get to a certain level, you just kind of... You either don't get into fights with lower level enemies, or you just automatically win fights with lower level enemies. Usually games with enemies on the overworld like this, where you can see them just wandering around, they're usually the ones that do that. Simply because then you can just walk into them, and they just kind of fade away. Whereas a game with a random battle system like this, I don't know, they never seem to do that. No! The book we need is down in that room at the very bottom that we were at. But I guess we didn't trust it, so we kept running around a little bit. Don't worry, we're halfway through. It's a good thing I sped this up, because this part's kind of... This upcoming part is kind of... That's about all I have to say about it. Actually, this part's kind of... Now that I think about it. do. He insists on learning those quick draws, which we never learned off-screen for some reason. We never just took a few minutes before or after recording, or in between sessions, to just learn the quick draws so that we had them available for the next time, so we didn't have to waste our time attacking. I think the book we need is in the right shelf? No, it's on the left shelf. We clicked on it in the very first time we came here, yeah. De La Metallica. I'm pretty sure we made Metallica jokes right here. Something, I don't know, we're probably just saying things like, "Whiskey in the gyro, yeah!" And something about salt. Something like, "A little bit of salt there." Something like that. We're not big fans of Metallica, so we tend to make fun of them whenever we get the chance. This place is weird. It's this illusionary, just dimension. And right now, this puzzle is basically you walk around the circular staircase until every time you walk around it, it's turning back an hour, basically. And so you need to walk around it a certain number of times until it says, like, this is the hour this door opened. Or whatever it said right there when we walked through the door. Then you go through and you have to collect a number of these books. Some of the puzzles are nifty. That one right there, where you have to walk around it, it's not difficult, but it's nice. It's nice once you realize what it is. It doesn't waste your time. It's all self-contained in one room. You just walk around a little bit, and you can't screw yourself the way you can with certain puzzles, which is the whole reason that Cecilia has her stopwatch. Yeah, there's water. I think there's a book for each element. And really, this whole dungeon should be trickier than it turns out to be for us. We just kind of stumbled our way through it, and thanks to blind idiot luck, did it pretty much in one go. Or one straight shot, and didn't have to fumble around too much. Which I appreciate. Since I'm the one editing this thing, I didn't want to have to go through this and cut out a significant chunk. Though there is one chunk that I cut out. And the thing is right here. I feel like it's right here that I cut it out. Yeah, it was right there. Because we had to pause for a little bit. For something like 5 minutes. And obviously I'm not going to just leave that there. Use a little save. Keep walking up this 2D plane. Tricks your eyes with forced perspective. Knowledge is the treasure. Hurry, seek to the side of the door. I don't even remember what this puzzle was. We just kind of walked around and we clicked on things and we happened to click on them in the proper order. So, good for us. The image of 1,000 monkeys on 1,000 typewriters comes to mind. We're just the monkeys that happened to write Hamlet. Except our Hamlet is about a ham and cheese omelet. And you say, Hamlet, get it? Did you get it? Did you get it? Until we get fired. Okay, I remember what this puzzle was. Some of these bookcases talk about closing and some talk about opening. And you go down 2 floors and you find treasure boxes which correspond to each of these bookcases. And you need to click on the treasure box which corresponds to the bookshelves which talk about opening. And that will unlock the door on the middle floor. So this is the top floor right now. We leave this, we go back down. Yeah, okay. I forgot about the treasure boxes at first. I thought you just had to click on the bookshelves, but then we kept exploring and realized, aha, here we go. It's like, nah. And I don't know if this is random each time you play through it, or if it's fixed. Right? Like, is it always Ah, we didn't get them all at first. Oh, no, we did. It's just, like, is it always just those two? Or are they scattered about? Because it's like this puzzle in Final Fantasy VII when you're in Midgard Tower and you're making your way up. Where the mayor of Midgard, yes, there's a mayor, and you need to give him a certain password before he'll give you a key to open a door. And if you can get that password right on the first try, he'll give you some special items in addition to the key. And you can figure that out, what the password is, by going into the library on the same floor and finding files which aren't supposed to be in that particular section of the library, and based on the number of where that file is supposed to be filed, you can find a certain letter within its title, and then assemble the letters from the 4 files that are misplaced to get his password. And there's a list of like 10 or 12 possible passwords, something like that. And which password it is random every time you play. So you could guess it, but even if you play through the game multiple times, it's not going to be the same password. So this one right here, that we're on right now, we need to go through specific doors each time. I think it's like left, right, right, left, right, or something. What kind of sucks about this is the very first door you go through, it just says, choose either door, it doesn't matter. Except it does matter, you have to choose the left one. But it doesn't give you any indication that you need to go through the left one, right? Each of these tablets that we're clicking on, it gives you a little blurb. And that blurb gives you a hint as to which door you're supposed to go through. I think you're supposed to go through the door that corresponds to saving the world, basically. It's like, do you want to get power, or do you want to help people? And you're like, I want to help people. And it's like, that's the right door, so you go through the right door. But the very first one, it just says, like, it doesn't matter which one you go through. You always speak of justice when using power to enforce it. We stayed here for a while, that's weird. Ninja. You want justice as power, take the right door. If you want power as justice, take the left door. And that one was a little tricky. I think ultimately we decided power as justice, and we took the left door. Nope. Took the right door. And that was the correct order, apparently. So, we're almost through. We're almost done here. Like I said, we got pretty lucky and got through this a lot faster than I expected we would. I didn't even remember this dungeon until we got to it. And then as we stepped in it, I kind of started to get little inklings of, like, I remember something going on here. Here we go. Durus Drum, the guardian of whatever. Knowledge? Yeah, knowledge. An illusion. Okay. So it's not a difficult dungeon by any means. It's just a little frustrating. We were just very lucky. And I had a guide open. So that's about it. I mean, we got the runes. We might still have one more rune that we need to collect, but that's probably in the next episode. If we do... Nope, we got lost again. Ah, we get lost so often. We forgot we had to use the teardrop to get out of here. So we fight these 2 level 1 books. And then we piece out of here. And now I'm just waiting for it to end. Do